Okay guys, so how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing this video because my friend Mr. Jesus at work put out a video saying that if Treyarch messes up Black Ops 2, essentially the whole YouTube community is gonna suck. Which he's probably right. But the problem but another problem I think about is that not only YouTube community, what happens to the gamers? I mean, almost every game that's coming out lately has some sort of abusable feature, some abusable function, and the abusable features, in Call of Duty are well known. COD 4, you got Martyrdom and Last Stand. Straight up to Modern Warfare 2, even though they became death streaks. Then, One Man Army noob tubes. Black Ops had everybody has a claymore, and the FAMAS, the SPAS 12, the AUG, rapid fire on guns. Even though that does take up an attachment, it and you can't use extended mags and stuff with it. It's still unnecessarily powerful things. Things that really shouldn't be there or should be toned down in terms of balance. But then we go to stuff like Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 is wildly popular, and a whole bunch of everybody says that, oh, I prefer Battlefield 3 because it takes more skill, takes more what's the word that they use, teamwork, etc. No, it doesn't. You're retarded. Shut up. It plays more like Call of Duty than like Battlefield. Truly. The characters move quickly, they have low jumps, they have our plethora of weapon attachments that all do different stuff. There's truckloads of abusable things like flashlights and such. Vehicles are overpowered. There's a billion 12 overpowered things in that game, and they made it even harder for them to be even taken down. Like, for example, vehicles replenish health. I mean, really? Really? Not only do you not want to... not only do you make them extremely strong and hard to take down in the first place, because they were hard to take down in, say, Bad Company 2, you mess with the class balance, make it so that you can't toss C4, you gotta like be up in something's face. The tanks have no minimum range. If you were standing on the front of a tank's barrel, on top of the barrel, the tank could fire and kill you with the barrel. It's no, you don't do that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm getting a little overboard. Off topic. They made the game to play like COD because they know that would attract people, and all the masses pick it up, start to play it, and just go, well, I like this game now. This game is awesome. Look at these, look at the graphics, look at the whatever, look at the everything. No. You like it because it plays like COD. People like games because they play like COD, and that annoys the everything out of me, truly. Because it just makes that like every game wants to be the same, and every game has decided that it has to have some sort of abusable feature in it to give people who can't play, don't know how to play, and don't want to learn how to play an edge. And then to make matters worse, it's not something that, say, could only be used by newbie people who would make mistakes. Because an utter noob weapon in the hands of a noob has similar skill level to a weapon that takes a decent amount of practice and skill to use effectively in the hands of somebody who has a good bit of skill. What happens when you take the utter noob weapon that takes no skill to use in the hands of someone who has a lot of skill? It just removes the barriers of skill. And by that I mean it makes it so that the game, how to put it, if you have perfect accuracy and the guns have recoil, it makes it so that you have to work to keep the guns, you know, trained on target, etc, etc. Sure, that makes complete sense. That's a good thing. That's really sensible. That's the way a game should work. And if you can't aim, then it's going to be a problem for you to shoot because the guns have recoil. On the other hand, what if guns had no recoil? You understand? Imagine that. If guns have no recoil and you have great aim, that's just removing the recoil barrier to your skill. You are essentially able to do whatever you want. And I'm gonna take a stop from commentary here to say that from the first death, it takes 24 seconds for me to kill, to kill the enemy team, plus two of them twice, apparently. I don't think I've ever seen that happen in Call of Duty before. Really? That's awesome. Okay. Yep, that's about, sorry, I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Not in Newtown. Oh, God. Please don't say anything again. Anyway. But, right. Back to my point. With everything being like that these days, it makes people really annoyed. People who play the game. I mean, think about it, right? If you know you're good and people could just use cheap tactics to utterly destroy you, then what prevents you from using cheap tactics? Yourself. And then if you want to outskill the people that use cheap tactics by, you know, not using them, people will call you a scrub, people will call you this and that and all kind of crap. And to make matters worse, when you do get bullshitted, you're really pissed off. And that's the trend that I see almost all the games lately taking. What I want to know is what I'm going to do for a good fast-paced shooter. I wouldn't call Counter-Strike fast-paced. I wouldn't call any game with a search and destroy tactic, sorry, with a search and destroy heavily primary game type fast-paced. I wouldn't call, hell, there's a lot of freaking things I wouldn't call fast-paced. But the fact is there. But that's not what I want to play. I like good fast-paced action, like the first Unreal Tournament. I like Quake 3. I suppose I could go play that Quake Arena thing, but I don't know. Maybe. I just want something really nice to play. I want a good game that doesn't have those noob tactics, so to speak. I want a game where I could be skillful because I'm skillful, and other people could do their own stuff. Wow, my team really sucked. Holy crap. Anyway, but yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Oh well.